It's important
of finding a different way to explain, not to you, but to so many people, on why what is being said is so wrong.
Right.
I've walked into institutions as the only person of colour and experienced covert and overt racism on so many occasions. And why the Meghan interview really resonates with me is because an ex-work colleague, not of this show, asked me if I was worried about the shade of cocoa that my son was going to come out.
Right.
So I fully understand the hurt that is behind all of that.
Right. Let me ask...
And when you're mixed race, what you find, in my personal experience, and there may be other people that may come forward and say this, is that when you are a lighter shade of black, people gain confidence and feel that they can say things to you that they wouldn't say to a black person.
That's such an interesting point.
And that is my experience of all of this.
Right. And by the way, I completely respect that, right? And that's why I wanted to get you on the programme today. It was my suggestion to have you on to talk about this.
But Piers,
right?
And thank you so much for having me on the programme. I really appreciate it. But I just want you also to be aware of the power of your words. And I'm not saying that you're a racist, but what I do...
What are you saying?
Do you know what I honestly feel? I feel as though because of your previous relationship with Meghan Markle, you've sometimes...
I didn't have a relationship with Meghan Markle.
But you met up with her, you knew her...
I knew her briefly.
Right, so we've joked about it on the show.
All that did was... So I'm allowed to speak.
OK, talk.
All that did was inform me that she's a bit of a cut and run.
Right.
Right, throughout her life, and all her family, her father...
Yes.
Her ex-husband, her ex-friends, they've all been cut out of her life, right? And it's an interesting observation that I happen to be one of those people.
An interesting observation, but I do feel
can I finish
this situation
the sentence,
that you are struggling...
Guys, if we're going to have this conversation...
You've got to let me talk.
Talk.
Right. Can we talk about the programme? It doesn't really matter what I think of Meghan Markle. It doesn't matter whether I believe her or not. What matters is the damage that she is accused of doing to the royal family. And let me ask you honestly, on the issue of race, she has now got the whole of America and the worst of the world, frankly, looking upon the palace, the monarchy, the Queen, everyone in the royal family as a bunch of racists. And it all comes down to two things that she said in the interview. One is something she didn't hear, but Harry reported back to her, that a senior member of the royal family that wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip, so presumably is either Charles or William, we would hazard a guess, has made a comment to Harry about what colour skin his baby may be if the relationship progresses.
OK, but there was concern about the way in which that question was asked.
That's my question for you. She said there was concern. Harry didn't say that. And my question for you is this, and it's a straight question I think a lot of people are asking. Because you've been in this position, right? And you've been equally offended.
On the receiving end of that
question. Is there a qualitative difference between somebody perhaps innocently saying to you, out of interest, if you have one parent is white, one parent is black, you know, what colour could your baby be? Let me finish. What colour could your baby be? Is there a difference between that question phrased in that innocent, perhaps, way, and somebody doing it in a tone that says, well, how dark is your baby going to be? Well, I think, in a derogatory, perhaps racist tone.
Exactly, and there is a difference. But what we're getting from the interview is that it was said in a negative way.
She said that, but he didn't, did he?
Listen, stop separating Harry and Meghan. They are a team, quite clearly, a very strong team. And I do believe that she backs him up and he backs her up.
Right.
So, and like I said, tone and language is everything.
But is there a difference?
When it was said to me,
the
key word was, are you worried?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But that to me is racist.
And there's a big difference.
That to me is racist.
But that's what she
reports. It is racist.
But do you think it's racist? It's a legitimate question many people have asked. Is it racist, do you think, if, for argument's sake, it was William or Charles? Let's not put a name to this person. We don't know. And part of the problem, I know you agree with me about this, it'd be easier if they just said who it was.
Right.
Right? I'll come to that. But is there a difference? If it was said, perhaps in all innocence, right, and they just said, oh, what colour baby might you have, without any suggestion of it being a concern or a worry if it had darker skin, would that in itself, would just the question be racist?